spend our lives attached to our devices and our phones and our computers. And so there's this very tactile, this very physical interaction that we have with technology.
I work with generative art and projection mapping. In this work, I'm collaborating with my partner Krisjanis Rijnieks. We created sculptures and some kinds of audiovisual content, which is generative. Krisjanis is developing open source projection mapping tool called PMapper, and we are using this software. Basically, what you see on the walls are visuals which are applied to surfaces. Basically, we both really like generative art as such, because you are able to create system which is not so much predictable, but to do that you have to learn programming. So programming is your main medium.
I was immediately struck by this quality of change and movement, and almost as if these are these very fluid paintings slash sculptures slash under the rubric of new media work. When I was speaking with Irina, we were commenting about her interest in conceptual artwork and minimal artwork, and the idea that maybe these works fall somewhere in between.
When I studied arts, I really kind of fell in love with conceptual art, which can be behind a really simple work, what you see on the walls. And I think it's a really brilliant approach.
Minimal sculptors came up with all sorts of new words and terms to think about what they were making. Long before new media, they talked about specific objects as a mix between painting and sculpture, and also Solowit talked about the idea of structures, these very sort of formal approaches to thinking about work.
You see moving objects over the surface, and then you have, for example, sound files, which are also generative, but in this case we are using more or less sampled and recorded wave generations, frequencies, and frequencies modulations. But there are certain variations how visual parts can be connected to the sound. This is what we understand with the word generative. So basically there is a system which is able to generate different kind of compositions into the one bigger composition.
The tie, I guess, to that individualized experience that minimalism was really actually after in a lot of ways, the whole idea of phenomenology, and that your experience of a sculpture was really the sculpture itself. And as Irina was describing, this is a loop in some loose sense, that there's an object or a frame, or in this case a computer program, that's generating forms, and yet that there's really no way for two people to have the same exact experience looking at this work and hearing it at the same time. There is such an originality of experience that you can have with this work process.
When you see art on the wall, you see it as, something complete. It looks so simple, right? You just listen, you just watch, and yeah. But for us, the conception maybe is more about innovation and testing out different kind of medium and tools.